I have always had a burning desire to discuss the work of Umberto Lenzi for this program. For today, I wanted to bring up 1963's Catherine of Russia. I suppose I might as well give some backstory on Lenzi. Umberto Lenzi was something of a genre chameleon. His career took off in the early 1960s, directing adventure films, some swashbucklers notably, and a couple of peplum entries as well. He then helmed some classic Eurospy works during the middle of the decade, being among the first directors to explore the macaroni combat scaffold, and also delivered a spaghetti western or two before that decade's close. Known for Jarlo's Poliziotteschi films during the 1970s, along with some other macaroni combat works late in that decade, Lenzi would arguably be best known for some cannibal films released in the wake of Diodado's gruesome pictures. Obviously, Lenzi created arguably the first film, or at least a prototype film, for the cannibal boom, directing 1972's The Man from the Deep River, although this film, while it's almost certainly reminiscent of the later cannibal films, and Diodado seems to have admitted to seeing it at the time, if only to accuse it of ripping off A Man Called Horse, it is more of a narrative, even philosophical work, rather than a piece of eventful exploitation. I mean, I do see lots of philosophy and subconscious profundity in the cannibal films, but that might be just me. I just think their very existence suggests volumes about the state that the modernized society was in at that time, and a state from which it was never going back, that vision of primitive societies being visited by contemporary representatives of the human community. So anyway, after the 70s, Lenzi's work, in my view, mostly suffered. I do love me some 1982's Iron Master, although most of Lenzi's work after this consisted of even cheaper action war pictures, downstream from Vietnam-esque jungle set, machine gun affairs rather than World War II epics, and also some rather poorly produced haunted house films, at least from my perspective. His last film was 1992's Mean Tricks, which seems to be, I have not viewed this one yet, a mixture of a cop film and a jungle film of some kind. Lenzi passed away in 2017 at the age of 86. But enough about Lenzi himself. Let us discuss his 1963 period piece, Catherine of Russia. Oh, briefly. So hey, look, there's only so much I can express about this film, although what I will express is quite positive. This is hardly the most lavish period epic you will ever see, but it certainly tries to clothe itself in its chosen era. Tsarist Russia comes alive as an evocative, vivid, gregarious culture, the illustrious aristocracy contrasted with the brutality of lower class life. The costuming is very fun to look at, and the staging is just interesting, eye-catching in general. I do like the lead performance of Hildegard Neff. Yes, it is hardly one of the great performances of all time, but one gets a great feel for Catherine's personality. Sometimes bubbly, sometimes outgoing, and yet firm, determined, and brave. This film is full of vain personalities, callous nobles, a swirling of bourgeois excess. This is the kind of film I would watch if I was sick and stuck in bed. I don't know, it just does it for me. I mean, I love period pieces in general. I love more garage films, and I do love how Lenzi attempts to illustrate an historical epic despite lacking the budget for one. Generally, he's very successful at it, although it hardly has an epic feel. It is rather more closed quarters, personal, and intimate. It feels far more of an attempt at character drama than an antiquated epic. But yes, I do enjoy this one. What else to say? I mean, yeah, I was typing all of this as I listened to a live Q&A with Norman Finkelstein, just being topical and all. But yeah, the film's cool. I dig the film. I don't know what else to say. I thought it was pleasant. It hardly changed my world, but, well, I don't know. It became kind of a comfortable blanket of sorts for me. I just like the mood of it. I suppose that's that. Thank you and have a good one.